tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Got a real good feeling. This place is jumping off hard as it can get. No, we won't ever stop dancing on the edge. We like it dangerous, we like to see you split. Turn up another notch, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let me tell you something. 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 Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Right now, right now. Got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Got a real good feeling. Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. I got a real good feeling.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the massive Bitcoin crash that we have witnessed over the last couple of days. As you already know, Bitcoin crashed all the way down to $40,250 earlier this morning around midnight. We hit very, very, very low lows, right in the zone that we talked about on this show yesterday. Between 40,000 and 40,500, there was a very important zone of support holding us up, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about just that level of support, how it is holding up the market, and we're also going to be talking about NFL superstar Tom Brady and how he, who is already a bull around Bitcoin, is talking about potentially renegotiating his contract in favor of being paid partially in cryptocurrency. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to dive into a little bit of news coming out of South Korea. It looks like 60 out of 61 cryptocurrency exchanges in South Korea are about to go offline, and then we're going to wrap the video out, as always, with some price predictions between myself and my co-host, Tim. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing good. I am here. I'm present. I'm sure my description or my title is wrong. Do we even still flash the titles?
No.
We don't flash them at all?
I do flash Jeb's.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't flash yours because I haven't had time to fix it.
do you flash yours?
No.
Okay, good.
Because I do it out of fairness.
as long
to
as
both
there's
of us.
equality. You know?
That's what I say. I do it for both of us.
There you go. Fair enough. We're also joined, as always, by Smay. How you doing, Smay?
Hey, everybody. What's going on? I love you guys. Yep.
There you go. Boom. We are going to be covering a lot today, guys. We got a great show lined up for you, and I can't wait to jump on into it. Thank you, everybody who is tuning in. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure to smash that like button. It really helps out the channel when you do that. It helps to boost us in the algorithm, so make sure to check out that like button. It's right below the video. Let's go ahead and jump on to the Bitcoin chart briefly, and we're going to talk about some technicals. Guys, we are going to, as always, start with our bullish, because we like to start sunny side up. We like to talk about the bullish good things first, and one of the first things that I want to bring to your attention out here on the daily chart is the fact that despite the big correction that we had overnight where we pulled back down into our zone of support here between 40,000 and 40,250. By the way, we drew this yesterday. If you want to see where this zone of support comes from, we talked about that on yesterday's stream. Make sure to check that out. But one of the good things to keep in mind is the fact that we still have bullish RSI divergence out here on the daily chart. There are bears who are saying we're going to go a lot lower, and we're going to address those concerns here in a little bit. But in general, the market is still very, very bullish. On top of that, we're still sitting above very important support, which comes into play from this uptrending level of support right here. Take a peek at this, and you will see that this is a level that we want to be paying attention to. I'm going to go onto a clean chart really quickly, and you guys can see this level right here. Take a look at this. This is something that Tom Crown pointed out on Around the Blockchain. Make sure to go sub to his channel. You can see that there are 3 touches, 1, 2, a third, and then we are sitting right above that at the very moment at $43,000. So this uptrending level of support is still attempting to hold. We broke below it on a candle wick, but in general, we are still relatively bullish. Another thing to point out is the fact that we're on the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. The Bollinger Bands are widening up quite a bit, but in general, we have pulled all the way back down to the bottom of them. So, Tim, I want to hand it over to you really quickly because you have been looking into some fractals. What do you think is going on the 4-hourly chart in regards to the fractal formation you're talking about?
You know, looking up yesterday, so crash course, fractals are simply where you have looking at 3 candles and it's a change of direction, and literally the middle one is just the highest or the lowest, and the other 2 are either higher or lower. So a bearish fractal would be, for example, if the price is moving up and then one candle in the middle, it's higher than the other one, and then on the other side of it is a lower candle. That's a bearish fractal. The reverse is true for bullish fractals. It's where the price action is moving down lower. You have one candlestick that's longer than the 2 on either side of it and going to the downside, and it changes the direction of the trend. So we see that on the 4-hourly chart. So going to, I don't know, Jeb, if you're on that.
I am.
I'm going to pull up the 4-hourly chart on myself.
I am indeed.
Was not there. Yeah, you guys can see, looking at that, well, there's another name for that candle. That's
a hammer?
That's a hammer. Okay, yeah, that's a hammer. So a hammer
right
is
here.
Another version of a fractal. That's one of the reasons a hammer shows a change in direction, and it's because it is part of the fractal family. So what this means, at least for a short term, we are moving, and you guys can see it through the price action, we're going to be moving back bullish. That doesn't cancel out all bearish movement whatsoever. It just means at least for a short term, we're moving bullish.
Right.
The truth is, if you want to see the evidence of that, just scroll back over the last couple times the price action changed. You're more than often than not going to see a fractal change the direction.
Yep, absolutely. So, guys, that is one of the other things I want to point out here is on the 4-hourly chart, we have a very obvious hammer formation, as we were just discussing. A hammer formation is constituted by a very small candle body and then a very long lower shadow. The lower shadow, or the lower wick right here, dropped all the way down to $40,000, but we have this low body right here. That is indicative of a bounce. But I will remind you to something we talked about yesterday. Yesterday, we actually discussed the potential of Bitcoin bouncing quite a bit higher. We discussed the potential of Bitcoin bouncing up here. Excuse me, not up here, right up here, and then rallying from there. But we also talked about another possibility, which was that we pulled all the way down to $40,000 and rallied. And now looks like we have started to move into this second camp where we're having a correction all the way down to that $40,000 region. But nevertheless, continuing on here, one of the things that you need to be aware of is the fact that we pulled all the way down to 21 on the RSI. We are now sitting at 27. We are in massively oversold territory, and the market is in need of a short-term recovery. The bears are going to be exhausted from here, and the simple fact of the matter is, technically speaking, what's more likely is that we're going to have a rally from here. One of the other things to point out is the fact that we went so far to the downside past where our TD sequential said we should have that we got into our overextension colors here. For anyone who doesn't use TD sequential, it is a candlestick counting algorithm. It counts from 1 to 9, and then after it surpasses 9, it is telling you that you should be expecting for a correction to happen. After we move past 9, 3 more candlesticks, and we start having colors like this, and then that is indicative that the indicator is telling us, no, really, you actually do need to have a correction, in this case to the upside. So the fact that we have now reversed and we've seen a green 1 is a good sign, even though it means that the TD sequential is no longer really on our side as the bulls are concerned. One of the things also to look at here has to do with VPVR, one of my favorite indicators. If you guys haven't already gotten Lux Algo. If you haven't already gotten Lux Algo, then you need to make sure you get it. But Lux Algo here, on, I believe it was the 1-hourly chart, unless it went away here. there was a exit flash. Yeah, there was one right here. And I think earlier on today there was an exit flash right down here, but it's actually not there right now.
On the hourly?
Yeah, on the hourly. It was on the 4 hourly, but I don't see it here.
Are you on the right sensitivity?
I am on. Let's check this. I am not. I'm not on the right sensitivity. Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much, Tim. Yes. So right here, you can see that we had an exit signal flash on LuxAlgo. That is indicative that LuxAlgo believes that we're at least at a local bottom, even if it might not be the absolute bottom. But in general, we're pretty bearish right now, guys. One of the only things candlestick-wise I could point out that is bullish is the fact that we have a red candlestick followed by a green engulfing candlestick down here on the daily chart, on the 4-hourly chart. There's not a whole lot that's bullish right now, guys. I'll be honest with you, there's a few things that are, like, for example, down here in the hourly chart, we had a bullish MACD cross. Sure, that's great, but it just, there isn't much going on right now that instills a lot of confidence. We have this bullish RSI divergence right down here on the hourly chart, but frankly, we've seen a lot of RSI divergence lately that is not incredibly bullish, and we actually also have bearish RSI divergence at the moment. And I'll tell you what, I actually really hate when RSI divergence shows up both. You see both bullish and bearish RSI divergence. A lot of times I've found that that means that the market's going to continue in its current direction because the bullish RSI divergence says we're going to go up, and then gets canceled out, so cancels out, ends up being a continuation indicator. That's something that I am finding in my analysis just in the last couple of months. Whenever you see bearish RSI divergence contradicting each other, a lot of times it means continuation. So in general, guys, I got to be honest with you, there's not much bullish going on the chart. Tim, am I forgetting anything?
Well, I mean, there is. The thing is, there's actually more bullish indicators happening than bearish. The problem is the potency and strength of those indicators.
Yes.
And this is what I was, I think I put it there in the notes. As far as the divergence, the RSI divergence is concerned, it looks like we're going to play out some bullish RSI divergence first. This is the thing to watch for, and this is why it is really hard. We would need to get the price back to at least 47,000 to cancel out the bearish RSI divergence. But as he talked about, you already talked about VPVR, right?
Yeah, actually, no, I didn't.
So when you look at the VPVR, the reason why I think that we will end up seeing bearish RSI divergence play out is because if we don't make it back to that 47,000, then we're going to see bearish RSI divergence officially be confirmed. And if you look at the VPVR, the road back to 47,000 is not an easy one.
Nope. And what he's talking about right here, guys, is this bearish RSI divergence that we were about to bring up. There is bearish RSI divergence here on the 4-hourly chart on these tops right here. The issue with this is that the point of control, which is the VPVR maximum, sits at $47,000. So this has crashed us to the downside. We need to get back up above $47,000, or this bearish RSI divergence is just still in effect and is still going to be pushing us farther to the downside. So that is one of my big concerns here. With all that said, let's go ahead and move on to the bearish technicals because there are some to point out. First and foremost, on the daily chart, our MACD has started to diverge substantially. We have seen a massive amount of bearish RSI divergence, bearish MACD divergence coming in on the daily chart. We went from almost having a bullish cross 2 days ago to having a massive amount of bearish momentum right now. And then there's also some things I want to bring to your attention out on the weekly and the monthly chart. On the weekly chart, I already showed you yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, how what we're seeing right now is a candlestick formation that doesn't have a name that I'm thinking about a name for, where we see a bearish engulfing candlestick formation followed by what I call a red-green-red formation, because it's a red candlestick followed by a non-engulfing green candlestick followed by an engulfing red candlestick. What we're seeing here are twofold. Number one, we see the bearish engulfing. So there's a red candlestick that's larger than the green candlestick. That is bearish. After that, we see this red-green-red formation, which is a red candlestick followed by a smaller green candlestick followed by a larger red candlestick. Together, these four candlesticks are remarkably bearish, and it shows up on the weekly chart. And I got to be honest with you, it's not instilling a lot of confidence in me. If we look here at the weekly chart, then there is also about to be a bearish MACD cross unless something very, very incredible happens and MACD manages to reverse because Bitcoin goes into a big rally. That's what we're going to see happen. We're also, guys, about to see a cross between the 20 weekly and the 50 weekly simple moving averages. Now, this is not exactly the golden and death cross that your grandmother told you about, but what it is actually very similar to the normal golden and death crosses that we see on the daily chart. It just shows up on the weekly chart. And I'm not the biggest fan of these indicators because oftentimes they show up when you're already halfway through a bear market. But the fact remains, Whenever the 20 weekly crosses below the 50 weekly, as we've seen in these two instances, it normally is followed by more bearishness. So the question that we're going to be talking about for the rest of this stream, and that we'll begin discussing here in a moment, is, are we at the beginning of a big correction that's going to take us down to $40,000 and lower? Is this the beginning of a turning point in the cryptocurrency markets? That's what we need to figure out. Looking on the monthly chart, we can also see that the MACD has been converging on itself in a bearish fashion for the last 5 months. We also have a long upper shadow here on the monthly chart, so the long-term technicals don't instill a lot of confidence in me, and quite frankly, the shorter-term technicals, as we discussed a moment ago, don't instill much in me either. So, Tim, I'm going to give my take here in a second, but I want to hear your take. Where do you think we're going in the next 7 days? And then also, based on what I just talked about on the monthly chart and the weekly chart, and now that we are setting lower highs and lower lows on the daily, where do you think we're going in the next 3 months as well? What's changed, if anything?
Yeah, so that's a different question. Last week I would have said we're going up. Obviously, this small correction changes a lot of things. Again, I still believe there's some manipulation playing out here. All I can look at though to make this information is the technical side of this. There's a lot of short-term bullish things happening. So just like he talked about here a little bit earlier, we got here. Let me go to my thing real quickly. We still have bullish RSI divergence on the daily chart. We're sitting right at a key level of support. The RSI on the 4-hourly chart's in a great position to go up. The red histograms, the red histograms are getting smaller on the MACD. We have an exit sell flash on Lux Algo. T sequential turned green. We're low on the Bollinger Bands. A lot of reason to think in the short term we're going up. The problem is again, looking at those bearish signs. So when you look at the VPVR, this was crucial. Why I said, if you'd asked me this question a little bit ago, a couple of days ago, I would have said, I think we're in great bullish movements. And the reason why I'm saying now, I'm like, I'm not as certain about bullish movement is because we were sitting at that level of strength. We were actually sitting a little bit above that level of strength on the VPVR. Now we are sitting well below it. And it looks like there's it's like pushing a truck up a mountain, that's the feeling it looks like. I'm not saying it's impossible, but we need some sort of new piece of information, new story, new adoption story to come out to get us over that ledge, which I'm not, tomorrow, who knows if some massive company adopts crypto or Bitcoin specifically, and we get over that hump. It's doable. It's just not, we can't just make that prediction without seeing anything happen. So again, for all those different things, we had the Fibonacci retracement. We didn't even talk about this today. We talked about it yesterday. The Fibonacci retracement level actually says we could get as low as 38,400 before we see an actual bounce. I'm not yet convinced we have to go that far down, but I believe there's a stronger chance of that happening today than I thought that would have happened yesterday. After looking at everything.
Yeah, no, guys, the thing you got to realize about VPVR is that it acts like a mountain and the market acts like a ball. So what do I mean by that? Whenever you're on the top of a mountain like this, you're stable. You got a flat level up here, you're going to sit and you're going to be comfortable. But as soon as you start going over the edge, gravity picks up and you start falling down the mountain. That's what happened up here at our local high of 47,000. If we zoom in, that's actually the point of control as we talked about a second ago. What happened is we were sitting right up here on the point of control and we either could have rolled up the VPVR or rolled down the VPVR. The problem is we rolled down the VPVR. We did not roll up the VPVR like we were hoping and thinking that we were going to. Instead, we rolled down the VPVR to the downside. We have now set very low points of price action all the way down to $40,000. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin in the long term. But here's the thing. Let's take a look at what this market looks like right here ever since September the 7th to where we are now. We have a big correction, a giant correction that starts a big downtrend. Then what do we see happen? We see a short-term rally, a second wave to the upside, if you will. And then from there, we see another correction to the downside. What does that look like? Well, if we zoom back and zoom out more specifically, it looks a little bit like this big correction that we had here, followed by an attempt to move to the upside, and a big correction to the downside. It almost looks like in the other definition of a fractal, which is two markets that look the same but are on two different time frames, that we're seeing a fractal form here as well, where the market is doing the exact same thing that it did earlier on this year on a smaller time frame. We have a rounded top, followed by an ABC correction, if you're following Elliott waves, rounded top, A, B, C correction. From there, of course, I do believe that the market would move to the upside, but that might be what we're seeing happen right now based on the fact that financial markets globally are not very confident. Perhaps we are seeing the market move in the direction of sideways rather than up or down on Bitcoin. We might be moving into a period of decreasing volatility and decreasing momentum. What do you think about that, Tom?
Yeah, no, so I didn't even get to answer the question fully because I was trying to word out what my brain was doing. Going back to what are we going to see over the next couple days versus next week versus next 3 months. I think bullish day or two, and that doesn't mean up 10%. I mean up 2, 3, maybe 4%. Followed by, I think, overall this weekly. I think when we look at the weekly chart here in a week, we're going to see a red candlestick. Maybe not going to be huge, but I think it will be red.
So next week, not
Yeah,
this
when we
week.
look
So this
next
week's
week-
already going to be red, but then next week will be, you think?
Yeah, I think it will be. I think, and I'm not talking about a massive
right.
candlestick.
Yeah,
I'm
I
talking
think
about a
you're
little
right.
one. But 3 months out, though, this is where I do think it'll be green. And this is something I was talking with Jeb earlier, and I'll go ahead. This is a good time to go ahead and kind of explain this thought. You know, Jeb just showed you guys the monthly and the weekly charts. So those are not bullish whatsoever. Those are actually pretty bearish.
Yep.
Here's my thought, though, that what doesn't make sense to me is if that's true, and if we are currently in a bear market, and if we are going nowhere but down due to what those charts are saying. First of all, a lot of that data and information was tracked before a lot of adoption stories and big fundamental news stories came out. Here's the other thought. We have been watching, and no one can deny this, we have been watching whales and investors, or in other words, the composite man, play with the price and do with it what he wants. Now, here is the thing. What does he have to win if we are in a bear market? Why is he currently holding the price at this level if we're in a bear market? Why hasn't he just gone ahead and taken all of his profits and gotten out and waited until the next bull market? I do not believe we're at the end because I still see manipulation happening in not only the price going down, but the price going up as well. I don't believe that whales, institutions, or the composite man is done with his profit yet. So despite you see monthly and weekly technicals saying that we could go down based off of data that was tracked from months, if not years ago, I actually think that what we're seeing right now is changing the game from those charts. I still think that there's bullish movement to go up. And the reason why I still hold fast to not the end of this year, I don't know when this will be, the end of this bull market being over $100,000 on Bitcoin is because that's what the institutions want to create a profit. At the moment, they have not created a significant profit. So all this manipulation would have been for naught. But if the price goes up, that explains why they're continuing to play with these levels to acquire more so they can actually get fat profits so that they will actually, it'll make sense for all their movements. So when you combine all of that and you look at short-term technicals, there is still a lot of bullish sentiment for the future of Bitcoin, just maybe not within the next couple of days.
Yeah, so I totally agree with you, Tim. I think there are a lot of whales in the cryptocurrency space right now that are in Bitcoin and crypto. I think one of the reasons that we saw it get manipulated so hard to the downside from 65,000 was so that some of these whales could buy down here around 29 to 35, 36, $38,000, and I think a lot of them did. Here's the problem. These whales are comfortable with a 50% return. They're not needing to get a 1,000x return like all of us retail guys are who are working with, $100,000 or $200,000 or $50,000, and we're trying to get, we're trying to get a 10x over in some altcoin. They don't need that. You don't need to 10x $10 billion into $100 billion. Getting 50% in 3 months, that's a pretty big deal. Because to be honest with you, venture capitalists who invest in startups look to a 5 to 7x in 5 to 7 years, normally up to 10x. But the point is, you might look for a 1,000% return with VC funding over the course of a decade. So if they're able to get 50% rallies in 3 months, what would you say, Tim, if a lot of them already bought, sold $50,000, that's why we had our correction on Tuesday, and now they're looking to buy back in to ladder to the upside.
But even that, we confirmed looking at metrics that they started it. I do believe manipulation started it, but it was what really caused that dip was liquidations of longs.
Yeah.
That wasn't just, now if we didn't see a bunch of longs liquidated, I would have said, oh yeah, that was a massive sell-off.
Well, I agree it was a liquidation event, but I think the whales knew that they could use that.
They knew they would use it, so they sold parts of their position.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. If they sold everything of what they had, and when we talk about that, we're talking about there's obviously a lot of whales that love Bitcoin are probably going to hold it till the end of their day, So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones who are solely in crypto and Bitcoin specifically to pad their pockets, to build that wallet and make it fat. There is no incentive for them whatsoever if this is a bear market to continue to allow the price to be right here, right? They would sell everything they have, take that profit, especially as we move into a time of uncertainty with finances. They're going to take the profit. Now, if they think or they want the price to go down, they'll take their profit. They'll get out. They'll wait for a better opportunity. They would wait for, at this point, like let's say the bull market is over. Let's say we hit our top at 64. I saw someone say in chat, yesterday Ben and Carl were talking about how if you look at what just happened with the hit of 52, it looks exactly like what we just did with 64. So in which case, we're saying that we're hitting a bear market. Well, in that case, then the price should go back down to around 16,000, 10,000. If the top was 64, we should go back down pretty far. Here is the thing, though. They are not letting it go there.
I don't think we'll ever go that low again.
But if that was the top, we would go back down to that level. That would be a massive.
That's based on that's the thing I disagree with Ben about, is that's based on the trend that we retrace 85% in the bear market. True, that happened in 2013 and that happened in 2017. I would be very surprised if, for the point you just made, that we were able to go down to $10,000 to $16,000 simply because there's so many people in the market right now that weren't here before.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if that were to occur. Smay, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so to be honest with you guys, what I think is happening here is, I don't want to misconstrue what you guys are saying, but you guys are basically arguing that this was some kind of manipulation happening. Yeah, my thought is, to be honest with you,
I think a lot of it was needed, but I think there was a small manipulation event at the top, is what I'm saying.
I can agree with that, but what my thought is of where we're at right now, to be honest with you, where we've been for like the last month, other than whatever this steep spike drop was, is that honestly, I just think people, like, if you just look at the news right now, I just think there's not as much as excitement in the spaces we saw at the beginning of the year. Yeah. Like in the beginning of the year, you had Tesla buying $1 billion. Elon Musk was saying bullish thing this way, bullish thing that way. Michael Saylor was saying bullish thing this way, bullish thing that way. And everyone was just super excited for these pumps and these pumps and these pumps. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like now everyone's just so bored. I agree. And the thing is, it's not bored. They're not bored enough to start selling and getting out of it and causing a bear market, but they're bored in the fact that they're not buying up these dips as crazily as they would be. Yeah. So that's why I think that's why I made the joke about the turtle market, right? I don't actually believe anything called a turtle market, but the reality is
I do. I think you're right.
Well, but that's what I was about to say. Obviously, it's not called a turtle market, but I think we literally are in a space where we're just slow. It's just everything's slow. Everyone's bored. People aren't buying these dips as harshly as they would. They're not selling the tops as harshly as they would. You know what I mean? I just think we're just kind of like floating, you know?
Here is my point. And this is a concept that Richard Wyckoff teaches about the mindset of a whale, the mindset of the composite man, especially because what you're talking about right now, Smay, is the retail investor's brain. It is boring. All right, when the retail investor is bored and kind of tuned out, what do you think the whales are doing during that time?
Bye.
Right. So if this is the perfect time for them to buy, but yet the price, actually, I would say this would be the perfect time for it to go up. But the problem is they have not gotten all that they want.
Yeah.
If they have gotten all that they want and the retailers are bored, then it's time for them to sell and screw out all the retail investors. But they're not doing that. They're waiting. They're continuing to move on. Like we are still sitting, remember guys, we are sitting on the north side of where the whales and the institutions have kind of decided Bitcoin is sitting between about 29,000 and about 42. We are above 42 unless something changed. Yeah, we're at 43,176. We are sitting above that level. If they didn't care, if they were done with it, they would have let it go below that 29,000. They're not letting it do that. Why? Because they know this is still a great time to accumulate, to grab, to hold, because we are going to make this price rally. We are going to get our profits. We are going to make Bitcoin go crazy. And the best time to do that is when every retail investor, or another way, the way they think about it, just a normal human being who doesn't think through everything they think through, when they're bored, that's the perfect time for the whale to bounce and to take a hold of everything. It's when we get really excited about things, that's when they're like, all right, everybody else is excited. They're going to buy. Let's screw them over and sell so that they get loss. Due to this boringness right now on the retail investor, it's the perfect opportunity for whales to accumulate more and to spike the price.
I love the words that Tim makes up when he's passionate. Boringness, because boredom is not good enough.
Well, you know.
I totally agree with Smay here. I gotta hand it to Smay. I actually think he just coined a term that we should be using. So go on to all your favorite YouTube channels. Go to Ben's channel and Altcoin Daily and George and everybody and say, we are in a turtle market. You heard it here first, folks. We are in a turtle market because, frankly, I think that's exactly where we are. As Tim was talking about with the composite man, we have a lot of boredom in the cryptocurrency space. But here's the thing about that. When the cryptocurrency space is boring, you know what you get to do? You get to invest in yourself. and I'm not leading into a sales pitch here. The point of what I'm saying is this. The time that is best to invest in yourself is not whenever the market is blowing up, because at that point, you don't need to be investing in yourself. You don't need to be reading a bunch of books. You need to be out there making money and trading and profiting off of the cryptocurrency market. What you need to be doing right now, that the market is boring, is learning and growing and developing yourself and getting experience. So that's the final thing I'll say on that. Smay, do you have any closing thoughts before we move on to Tom Brady wanting to take his salary in crypto?
Well, I definitely have thoughts on that. But what I was going to say is, honestly, though, like, this is why I've been saying for so long that I don't believe in a 100K end of year prediction, just because there's nothing to me, because I get it. People see El Salvador and they see all this stuff and they say, guys, this is so exciting. The fundamentals are insane. The fundamentals support 100K. And it's like, kind of, but like people don't care as much as you think. Is what I've found. Yeah,
it's the fact that the sentiment and the fundamentals are not always the same.
And here's my thing. I want to make sure that this is said. Is do not underestimate, while everyone else's attention is on altcoins, because that's what's exciting right now.
Yep.
It's Cardano, Solana. Do not underestimate the whale or the composite man's knowledge of knowing, while everyone else's eyes are turned somewhere else, I'm going to dig in what's actually valuable.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, that's why I think it'll still happen, right? They're still going to go in for it, but I just think they're going to continue to take their time, you know? They're going to continue to accumulate, and they're going to continue to get their bags full so they can take it and pump it to the moon, you know? But I think right now we're just seeing, like, everyone's just, the enthusiasts are excited, right?
Yep.
Like, people who are watching this show are excited.
Yep.
But that's not the whole entire market cap of Bitcoin.
Yep.
Right? There are somebody's grandpa who put a part of his retirement in Bitcoin because his son told him to. That guy doesn't care. He's not watching. He doesn't care about El Salvador.
You don't know that. He might be a subscriber.
Maybe.
Bobby Johnson, he's watching.
What I'm saying is, you can't assume that everyone who owns Bitcoin cares about these kind of fundamental developments, right? So that's why you have to wait for the big excitement, like the people saying things, like Elon Musk saying something. Like that's stuff where people, I feel like average people see that and they're like, oh, let's move it. So that's why I think right now things are just going to be slow, boring, and like you said, the whales are going to start accumulating. They're going to get their bags full, and then we'll see something next year, a big pump event.
Speaking of things that big names say, let's go ahead and talk about Tom Brady, the darling of Tampa Bay. Tom Brady said he'd love to request having NFL contract be paid in cryptocurrency. I'm going to read from this briefly, and I'm going to lean on my two co-hosts here who love football, and I love football too. I love that Alabama beat Florida in our own hometown. I'm sorry. Look, I got to be a Gator whenever Alabama's not in town, but roll tide. I'm sorry. I really am. I'm going to get run out of town
All
if I'm
I'm
not careful.
saying is,
that's a dangerous statement.
If we deleted the first quarter, Nick Saban said it himself, Florida outplayed us the last three quarters.
It's true. That's actually accurate. Tampa Bay Buccaneers star Tom Brady could join the ranks of NFL players who have received a portion of their salary in cryptocurrency, and I quote, I think a few players have requested that, he said on Let's Go podcast. I'd love to request that, to get paid in crypto and to get paid in some Bitcoin or Ethereum, which this article misspells Ethereum, or Solana tokens. It's an amazing thing that's happening in the world with the way the world is becoming more digital. Tim, give us a 60-second biography of who Tom Brady is for anybody that's been living under a rock.
Okay, people don't know he is the greatest quarterback of all time. I hate to say it because I used to be a massive Tom Brady hater, but with all of his success and the way he's done it, it is undeniable. He is the greatest quarterback of all time. Not the most talented. That is not his status. But in terms of his accomplishments and his leadership, he is the greatest of all time. So he's not the highest paid player in the NFL by a long shot, but he is probably looked at as the most influential person for people to kind of look at as what's happening in the NFL. And again, with that story of him leaving New England to come down to Tampa Bay, and he's created a super team down here, when he speaks, listen.
Yes, and the reason that you should listen is because the rest of the world listens to him. And here's the thing, guys. A lot of people realize the power of the public celebrity. Talk about Elon Musk, talk about Richard Branson, talk about whoever you want talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And whenever they start talking crypto, people start listening. Tom Brady has probably more followers than he probably has 10 times more followers on social media. In fact, he does than most people in cryptocurrency. Brady signed a $50 million extension with Tampa Bay this offseason. The front-loaded deal plays out to $41.1 million in 2021 and $9 million next season. If he did start accepting payment in cryptocurrency, I think this would be a watershed moment for sports getting into the cryptocurrency market. Tim, what do you think him accepting cryptocurrency payment might do to our analysis of how the next 6 months of crypto look now that it's looking like we might be going into a bit of a turtle market?
Well, and that was one of my points I was kind of making earlier. I didn't go deep into it. It was all the data we've collected over the last couple months doesn't take into account the mass adoption and then fundamental news is happening now. It doesn't take into account what's futuristic and things like that, like massively influential people adopting crypto. Because here's the thing. Trillion-dollar companies or billion-dollar companies getting involved in crypto, huge. But don't underestimate some of these people with individual authority in terms of their voice on social media, on different markets. We don't hear this talked about enough, but even the other person, I would say the two most influential people in the NFL right now, probably number one is Tom Brady, number two is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is not talked about very often, but he dabbles in crypto. I don't think to the scale that a lot of others who are more popular do, but he has his hand in the pot. But this is an example. We already know Tom Brady is very for crypto, but the biggest story here is he's in the middle of a contract. It's not the right time to renegotiate his contract, but he is saying he would love for the future, because he also announced a couple weeks ago he wants to play till he's 50, that future contracts he would love to have crypto works into it. What that will require is the Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization, which at the moment is the best organization in the NFL, to adopt that form of being able to pay their players in crypto. We've seen this happen in the NBA. We've seen it happen with European football clubs. This would be monumental in another large company, because at the end of the day, the Buccaneers are an organization. They are a company adopting crypto. They wouldn't just allow Tom to make money in crypto. They would actually open it up to everyone on the team. Then you have that spread of that one influential person talking to the rest of not only the sports world, so other people who are influential, but all the people that look up to him, kids and youth who are the future of this country, watching their idol take payment in cryptocurrency. What do you think they're going to want to do when they make it to the league?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Smay, what are your thoughts on this? Would Tom Brady accepting his payment in cryptocurrency change your tune on Tom Brady?
I mean, look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I personally, Smay, I don't care about anything that Tom Brady does. But I have to say this, that this is it's big in a small way. And the fact that I think that it will plant seeds in younger people who, especially people who are really interested in becoming athletes. Especially I think it's gonna change the future NFL players, future NBA players, and so on. They're gonna see that, and they're gonna start to use him as maybe a touchstone to how they should manage their money. Right, so maybe people will start asking for Bitcoin salaries, or people will start investing in Bitcoin more. But I think it's more of just like a smaller seed that's getting planted to see future growth from it. I don't think we're going to see anything with the price happen. I don't think this is going to cause a bunch of people to start buying. I really think this is going to be one of those moments where it's just like young people growing up then see that it's very successful for him, or be like, okay, I'm going to do the same. But I don't see it being this huge moment where everyone's going to be like, oh, I got to buy up a bunch of, Bitcoin and stuff. I just think, I don't think it's anything important to really care about right now.
All I'm saying is I've said this many times on the show, do not underestimate. I know the sports world seems insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Do not underestimate what happens to the world when things happen in the world of sports.
Absolutely.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I think we're gonna see something happen from it. I think it's just gonna be something that's a very slow change that happens over a lot of time.
Yeah. So guys, that's their opinion on this. I think that this is a pretty big deal. However, nothing has happened. He said on a podcast, hey, I'd love to do this. That's not him signing a contract, and even if it was, it doesn't necessarily mean that he has accepted payment yet. So look, we're gonna be following this story, but at the moment it is just speculation. So let's go ahead and talk about something that is not, because this is a very big deal for the nation of South Korea. Drop a 1 in chat if you are from South Korea, and give me a hashtag turtle market if you agree that we might be moving into a turtle market. 60 South Korean exchanges to shut down all or some services this week. What does this mean? Let's break it down. The deadline for crypto exchanges and wallet operators to comply with the new regulatory requirements to stay open in South Korea is this week. So far, only one crypto exchange has been licensed to continue operations. About 60 crypto exchanges are expected to either shut down or reduce services. So, what we're talking about here is that South Korea, and we mentioned this about a week ago, I told you guys I'd keep you updated on this. South Korea has some new legislation coming out that we're going to talk about in a second, some new requirements that are subjecting cryptocurrency exchanges to certain new requirements, and those, unfortunately, have not been given very long to, those exchanges have not been given very long to comply with that. So under the Act of the Reporting and Use of Specific Financial Transaction Information, the Special Act, thank God that has a shorter name, crypto exchanges must be Information Security Management System certified and register with the South Korean Financial Intelligence Unit, FIU, by September 24th, which is 3 days from now on, I believe that's Friday. Crypto exchanges that fail to do either must cease operations on that date. According to local media, 34 exchanges have not received that certification, so they are expected to shut down entirely on September 24th. A total of 29 exchanges have been ISMS certified, but only one has successfully registered with the FIU, a unit called the Unit of the Financial Services Commission, FSC, the country's top financial regulator. So, what's going on here? I'll tell you what's going on here. Ridiculousness is going on here. I'm not from South Korea, so I don't want to weigh in too much on the local politics, but I will tell you this. New requirements coming online this quickly that these exchanges have to comply with within just weeks of it being released is absurd. And the fact that these exchanges are having to comply with this so quickly or have to shut down operations is an obvious attack on cryptocurrency from the South Korean government. I see no way that it's not. Is this an attack on the cryptocurrency industry coming from South Korea, Tim?
I don't know. This is not something I said it yesterday on the show. If I haven't researched stuff myself and I don't have any opinion based on anything, I probably won't give an answer. So
yeah, well, so here's the thing, guys, and here's why I'm saying this. Let me read this here. Currently, out of 63 crypto exchanges, only the top 4 exchanges will continue to operate as normal. The rest will either shut down or reduce services. Take note of that. Only the top 4 exchanges. Interesting. You know, we've talked about how the governments of the world like to pick winners and losers before on this channel, and I certainly wonder if something like this is going on in South Korea. Considering that there is 1 week left until the 24th, virtual asset providers who have not yet filed a report should file a report promptly. In addition, registered crypto exchanges that want to offer trading in Korean won must also partner with banks to provide users with real name verified accounts. So far, the country's largest exchanges, Upbit, BitHum, CoinOne, and Corbit have secured banking partnerships. Banks are reluctant to partner with smaller exchanges due to risks such as money laundering. That means 25 cryptocurrency exchanges out of the 29 have been ISMS certified will be crypto exchanges. It will be crypto-only exchanges if they successfully register with the FIU. They must cease offering trading in Korean won by September 24th and should already notify their customers as required by financial regulators. 4 companies, GoPack, GDAC, Hanbitco, and Huobi Korea said they're still working to secure banking partnerships by the deadline. So here's the problem. South Korea is next to China and Japan, the financial hub of Asia. It is one of the wealthiest countries per capita on the planet. And considering how small it is, I'm pretty sure South Korea is smaller than the state of Florida that we are in right now. It has one of the largest and most densely populated nations in Asia, and it has one of the strongest economies there. Also keep in mind, just across the sea, Bitcoin was created in Japan. So we're actually talking about a very local country to where Bitcoin was created. The problem with this is the simple fact that South Korea is about to shut down an entire industry. I think that this is a shot across the bow. I think that this is the South Korean industry, the South Korean government trying to make sure that the South Korean cryptocurrency industry is fully compliant and make sure that they know who's boss. 3 years ago, there was something called the kimchi premium, where the price of Bitcoin and other crypto assets was much higher on South Korean exchanges. I remember this when I got into the cryptocurrency space. There were people that would do arbitrage trading. They would buy cryptocurrency in California on a U.S. exchange, sell it in South Korea for a 2% markup, and then turn around and repeat and then make 2% every single time they did that. What South Korea ended up doing is they made it so you could only trade on a South Korean exchange if you have their equivalent of a social security number in South Korea. It is not one of the most financially free nations in the world, if you will, when it comes to regulation around that. So really just wanted to bring this to your attention. Do you guys have any closing remarks on this before we move into our price predictions? It's really sad. We're going to be keeping you guys up to date on this, but it looks like Friday is going to be a very important date for the nation of South Korea.
I have a thought.
What's up, Smay?
Why the heck was it called kimchi premium?
Because it was a premium, because it was valued higher, and kimchi because South Koreans love their kimchi.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's a little sus. I don't know.
That's what it was called. That's not on me.
I'm not saying you called it that.
You guys in crypto decided to call it back then.
All right. Anyways,
it's called the kimchi premium.
That's guys, it's like if that was an American thing and we called it like the cheeseburger premium.
I was about to say that'd be the cheeseburger premium.
Oh my gosh. Anyways,
do you want to do super chats?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's read some super chats.
Let's do some super chats.
Let's do it.
Someone said I'll trade you a super chat for a CT2A coupon code.
I saw that.
All right, we'll give him a $5 off coupon code. There's someone asked, what's your thought on Harmony? That's actually a good one because that's a project that goes. Some days when you look at the coin market cap and you're doing a market watch, sometimes you see that on top of the top growing coins and sometimes it's on the bottom. I think now it's one of the.
It is ranked number 69.
Well, no, what I'm saying is
nice.
When you look at how it's moved in the last 7 days or how it's moved, sometimes it's at the top, sometimes it's at the bottom.
Harmony is an interesting one, guys. I haven't done a lot of research on it, to be honest with you. It's one of the ones that I want to study more. Tell me in the chat if it's something that you would like to see more content on. Perhaps we could do an Altcoins Anonymous episode on it. Make sure to tune in at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time for that this afternoon.
Let me see, get some other ones. Corey takes the blame. Thank you for your donation, Corey. He took the blame for the market crash.
Oh, Corey.
He wasn't watching yesterday, so
Corey,
you do better than that.
Buddy.
Thank you, Ethan Phillips, for giving. He said BitBoy's video, we talked about this a little bit. He said when he was talking with the Carl yesterday on the moon, they talked about the 65,000 looks the same as the recent 52. He just wanted to know what your thoughts on that.
Well, it does. I said the same thing a month ago. I was talking about how there is a rounding top that's going on right now. We're seeing the exact same thing happen on the shorter term time frame in the last 2 months. I totally agree with them. Yeah, no, that's up. If you go back, I have no idea what stream it was in, but it was about a month ago. We talked about the exact same thing.
Brandon Johnson said, take a look at the crash in March of 2020 and the golden death cross and compare it to now.
All right, let's do it. Let's look here at the daily chart and our SMA ribbon, our SMAs. We will set them to 50. And what we are seeing happen, that he is talking about, is that there was, let me turn Lux Algo off for a second. He's talking about how there was a death cross followed by a golden cross, and then the market traded sideways. And I assume that you were saying that we're going to see something similar happen here. You very well may be right. We did have a golden cross in the last couple of days, and that is definitely a very bullish sign for the long term. Look, guys, I want to be very clear on my prediction here. I think that $38,000 is very much in the cards, but I still think that we're going to stay above our local lows at $29,000, and I think we are going to continue into a bull market. And frankly, another thing I forgot to mention earlier is that it kind of looks like we're going into an inverse head and shoulders pattern right here on the daily chart. So there are reasons to be bullish in the long term. I'm not completely flipping from a bull to a bear, don't get me wrong, but I am saying that it looks like the market's slowing down and losing some of its exuberance. What's up, Smay?
Okay, just to cut off super chats real quick, I have something even more important. No,
Let's talk about it.
I'm joking. What I have here is for my very special people I want to shout out today. Tom Wilkes, thank you for being a member. Mick Lovin, thank you for being a member. And Neil Melker, thank you for being a member.
Boom sauce.
I didn't forget. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for being members. And by the way, guys, there's something very special that I want to announce, and that is that we have a webinar happening when, Smay?
The 29th.
29th. If you guys want to join the webinar and get access to a room where myself, Tim, and Smay, and you guys will all be together we will be talking about everything that you want to know. I'm going to be answering all of your questions, and I'm also going to be doing a teaching on which charts you should use. We're going to talk about whether you should use the hourly chart, 4-hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. We're going to talk about log versus linear. We're going to talk about the different kind of candlestick charts. So make sure to check out that link down below. Our first webinar sold out pretty quickly, and we had a lot of fun on it, so make sure to check that link down below if you haven't already.
Oh, and I want to just do a test real quick because a lot of people are talking about the states in the comments. Put a 1 in chat if you're in Florida.
Yes, put a 1 in chat.
I just want to know. I'm curious because maybe we'll do a meetup or something if enough people.
I would love to do that. And Shannon Sharp, I was born in Tennessee, so you were right. I have mentioned Tennessee before.
Gotcha.
Let's keep reading super chats.
Yeah, we got one. So a couple of them. David Breeze just want to give his opinion. Said it seems like the whale manipulation to liquidate longs. Yeah, we kind of talked about that. They just get the ball rolling to let those longs do the work. Philip Ewell said, guys, check out Plan B tweet. August 47,000 and September 43,000. He called this back in July.
Yeah, no, he did. And we actually analyzed that. And I kind of agreed with him back at the time. And I think that so here's the thing. He was talking about a correction down in the $43,000 territory. And that we have a lot of ones in chat. There's a lot of people from Florida watching.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised.
I'm really surprised by how many ones there are. I think that
Florida's
Plan B is very much right. And I do think that we're going to see a big rally all the way up to $100,000 in the next 6 months. But I think he was also right about this $43,000 dip.
Yeah. We got a lot of super chats. I don't know if we have time to do all of them, so I definitely want to shout people out. Kelly said, no reason to worry. Even if we go into a bear market, you can look back at cycles. Within about 2.5 to 3 years, you'll be back to your entry and prime for new all-time highs. So hodl and find buying opportunities along the way.
Heck yes, absolutely, Kelly.
Yeah. So another one from here right there. Kenneth Gardner said the moon had a target of 38,000. Again, that probably comes from the Fibonacci retracement levels.
Yeah, we saw that also, and I think that he's probably right in that case.
Thank you, Rami Daniel. He said Binance is pulling out of Australia. Juan Piedrahita said Messi is accepting crypto and has 267 million followers all over the world. Brady will accept in the future, and he has 10 million. Nothing has happened yet. Yeah, no, we have a lot of sports stars.
Messi fully accepting crypto would be ridiculous.
Alex Z. Oli said thoughts on where would be the bear market and when we could finally start seeing a worldwide option and big money players.
I think the bear market is a long way away.
Thoughts on why there would be a bear market when we finally start seeing the worldwide option. So he's pretty much saying, how is this a bear market? We're seeing a bunch of stuff happening.
Yeah, no, I don't think that we're in a bear market right now. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying today's show, make sure to smash that like button. We got 3,500 people watching. I know we can get to 1,500 likes here in the next couple of minutes. I think that there is always going to be a bear market that's going to form in Bitcoin and crypto for the same reason that there's always a bear market that happens sometimes in the stock market. I think something that we didn't talk about today is that I think right now, we are seeing a time where people and investors are not very bullish on traditional stock markets, and they're very concerned about Evergrande, which we talked about yesterday. And there's a lot of friction in the stock market. September is historically a bad month for Bitcoin and the stock market. By the way, in the last 70 years, the stock market only has 2 months that is generally bearish. It is August and September. So it looks like the entire global markets are moving through a bit of a correction right now. So there are a lot of fundamental reasons outside of Bitcoin right now that are leading to this correction, not just the fact that people are bored. But, I don't think that's going to last for a whole lot longer.
Gotcha. Couple more. C. Harris just wanted to let us know he just got into the world of crypto, invested 5,000. He's bummed out about the crash, but he's in it for the long haul. So welcome, C. Harris.
Welcome.
You're going to be glad you got in. Rick, our favorite, Rick4962.
Your dog.
Your dog.
If the whales let the price go down, it would let the retail people have a better chance of accumulating. What do y'all think? I don't think that's going to happen. I think if the whales let the price go down, a lot of retailers are actually going to freak out why the price is going down, which is so. Rick, I don't foresee that scenario happening. I don't think you're ever going to see the whales be like, oh yeah, let's drive the price down, and the retailers be like, oh okay, we'll buy, but then the whales don't want to buy. If the price goes down, the whales are going to buy.
Yeah, no, if the price goes down, the whales are going to buy the hell out of it. I totally agree.
Engineer said possible descending wedge on the daily chart for Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's something that I meant to mention earlier. There is absolutely a descending wedge showing up on the daily chart. I will show you it right here. You can see it with these two trend lines right here. So if that were to occur, then we would probably see Bitcoin pull back down to about $40,000 again around the beginning of October, and then start rallying and move to the upside, which is what I think is going to happen anyway. Yeah. So that actually lines up pretty well.
All right, that's I don't unless I missed
one. It's price prediction time.
Price prediction time.
Guys, I just want to say before we get to the price prediction is that it's basically confirmed that I will be winning this week, which means I get to open the Hall Trophy.
We haven't even made the price predictions yet.
Confirmed.
Yeah, I know.
You liar.
I'm confused.
I know I'm gonna win though.
You're good. Okay. Okay.
I'm being confident.
Well, it is price prediction time. Tim, explain to our new viewers what the price predictions are.
All right, so we just changed this. Now, every Tuesday, we predict where we think Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano is going to be at the end of the week on Friday at 9:30. So it doesn't matter if you were right anytime within the week. It doesn't matter if you were right at the end of the week. What matters is what is the price at 9:30 on Fridays. That is the person who wins. As we talked about last week, I think, so Smay won overall.
I've won twice in a
But
row.
if you had done it at 4 o'clock in the morning, Jeb would have won. If you had done it later in the afternoon, I would have won. It was one of those things that it only matters who's right at 9:30. Last week it was Smay. But I have not, just being honest with you guys, I had not put a lot of thought into my price prediction. I have my rough estimates, but I can go first if you guys want. Have you guys thought through your predictions?
No, not in the slightest.
Oh, gosh. Have you, Smay?
Yes, I have mine.
So let's let Jeb go first. Again, I have
will
my
go
rough
first.
estimates, and then
I kid. I
we'll
have
go
thought
Smay.
through them. Here is where I think Bitcoin is going to go. We've seen a bottom. We've seen a very, very strong bottom. We have a $3,000 wick or a $2,000 wick on Bitcoin. I think that we're going to see Bitcoin rally a little bit, and then it's going to fail, and we're going to be lower at the end of this week than we are right now. So my price prediction on Bitcoin is this: $42,690.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if mine was, again, okay. never
Wait,
mind. We'll
wait,
talk about
wait,
it.
wait, 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 wait. Say yours again.
42,690.
Is that really?
Yeah.
What's yours?
I was going to say 42.5.
Oh, 42.5? Hold on.
Oh, no.
Mine's 43.8.
Ooh, I'm in the middle again. Why am
So
I
you have
always
the
in the middle?
lowest.
You two keep switching if you're bullish or bearish.
So you have the lowest?
I have the lowest.
I wanted
that's
the lowest.
Crazy.
Dang it.
That's crazy.
I was originally going to say
All right.
42,000.
Next, go.
That's interesting.
69
That's
in there.
interesting for sure. All right, Jeb, what is your Ethereum?
This is weird, me being bullish.
My Ethereum prediction is this. So that was a lot of confidence, like I was about to say, and then I didn't. I think that Ethereum, I think Ethereum is going to be at 3,050.
3,050?
3,050.
All right, let me get back to my chart. 3,050 for Jeb. I think it's going to be at 2,900.
I got to start.
Did you
actual
wait?
planning.
Did you actually say 3,050? Mine's 3,075.
Oh my gosh. Smay, I'm up your alley.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
Jeb, you're good at pitting the middle of it. All right, Cardano.
Cardano. I believe that we're going to be trading at 217.
217.
217.
Okay, so you think we're going up?
217. I think we're going up a little bit.
Wasn't it just at 218?
It's at 214, right?
I,
it went down.
I think 205.
205. I could see that.
205?
I could see that.
Really?
What do you think, Smith?
Mine's 235.
Wow, this is a
backwards.
first where Smay is the bull in the room.
That's right.
I mean, he is the contrarian.
I'm just saying he has been right the last 2 weeks in a row.
What Smay is a contrarian.
No, I'm not. I made mine first. How would I have been the contrarian?
No, you're a contrarian
No, you
in the
just go in
direction
the
of the
opposite
market.
trend.
You're not a contrarian to us. You're just a contrarian.
Okay.
I want to give. I know Jeb kind of gave his take. Actually, I want to hear Smay. Why bullish this week? Can you help?
To
the
be
audience
honest,
understand?
because the thing was, I have a feeling that people are gonna get off their butts just a little bit and start buying the dips a little bit. And that's why I think
you're right.
I think we're gonna see just a small rally. That's why I didn't do anything crazy bullish. Just small bullishness that'll keep us trading pretty much sideways, and that's where I think we're gonna end up at the end of the
Look,
week.
I think that we're going to see the same thing, Smay. I think we're going to see a small bounce, but I think that bounce is going to be over before the end of the week, and then we're going to be going down.
Yeah, that's exactly. I honestly think I think that every single, maybe not Cardano. I think 230 might be higher on Cardano, but I think every other price that you said, I actually think we'll touch that at some point.
Yeah.
Well, the truth is, we're not that far away from any of those predictions. Right this
But
second.
here's my thing.
But we're gonna drop back.
My thinking with Cardano is just the community around Cardano are pretty. They're like they're psychos, and I think they're just gonna. I think they're just gonna go crazy and start buying up the dips like
That's
madmen.
true. Cardano people like the ADA gang likes to buy up the dips. That is accurate.
They are savages.
Tell us in the
I think though the only thing though with the Cardano is now that it played out its exciting news, I think it's back in the camp of staying with what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right. Tell us in the chat, are you hashtag Team Jeb, hashtag Team Beard, or hashtag Team Turtle? We need to hear who are you on the team of.
It's Team Beard.
It's Team Beard.
Team Beard.
That's what I
had
said.
to come. No. I'm saying you gotta say Team Beard in there. You guys gotta type it. Last time we had a HODL trophy, everyone counted me out. I was down
That's
3 to 2 to 1, and everyone's like, "Oh, good job, Tim." Like, and I made a 3-week comeback. This is the beginning of that. If Smay wins, if
I
the
want
price goes
Smay
up,
to win. I am
team
not.
Smay?
I'm not
You're team
Team
Turtle?
Jeb. I'm Team Turtle this week because
That's
I
right.
would think. I think it would be so freaking funny if Smay, who sits there, and is like that, and he just wins. That would just be so.
Well, that was a little bit offensive. That kind of
That's
hurt
what I was
my
going
feelings just
for.
a
You know?
little
No,
bit.
I'm kidding. I think it'd be so funny if Smay wins. So tell us what team you guys.
Don't count
are
me
on.
out.
the only
guys.
thing is, just so you guys know, the lower we go in this dip, I think the better and more explosive the price action to the upside is.
That's
gonna
true.
Look, I will just say I want to end this for now. Look, there's a reason why this is sitting on my desk right now. And
I
have to
know
tell you
it's
something.
hilarious.
be. Because
I
you're
might
great at
act-
getting out to a big
Stop.
lead and losing
Stop.
at the end.
I might act silly, but I'm actually not
Just
stupid.
like Florida.
I'm not stupid. Okay, I am a smart person, and that's
I didn't
why
say
I
you're
have
stupid.
this. I know. I want to clarify that to
You
everybody.
just need to let the world know. He
I'm
is
a smart person.
Smay is a smart person.
my
He is the
gosh.
Turtle King, and he is BitBoy's son. Guys, if you enjoyed today's show, make sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed to the fastest growing analysis channel here on YouTube, we intend to bring you guys high quality educational and informational coverage of cryptocurrencies every single day. So make sure to hit that subscribe button because we firmly believe that the best investment you will ever make is an investment in yourself. And if you would like to make that investment in yourself, you can check out the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. That is a place where I've taught 5,000 people to do technical analysis so that they can make a difference in their lives. Not only does the Academy cut down the learning curve because it is incredibly difficult to learn technical analysis on your own. It takes a long time. Believe me, I'm talking from experience here, guys. I spent like 5,000 hours having to learn technical analysis by Googling and YouTube videos and everything. It took forever. I can cut down that time for you and make it a lot faster on you. If you want to learn how to do the technical analysis we've done in this show, check the link in the description box down below because I firmly do believe that the best investment you will ever make is an investment in yourself. With that said, guys, also make sure to follow us on our social media. But that's all I got for you today. Any closing thoughts, gentlemen?
We're good.
Cool beans. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.